Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Miftah Syahadah from UHAMKA Biology Education Study Program. Here, I want to give some knowledge about the survival of living things. The first, definition of survival. We know that no living things on this earth can survive without dying, because every living thing has a limited lifespan or lifespan. For example, the age of coconut tree is much longer than the age of corn trees. However, perfect the care of a plant. If the plant has reached maximum age limit, it will die. On a banana tree, after fruiting, you can be sure it will die soon. However, if you observe carefully before it bears fruit and finally die, the banana tree grows new shoot on the stump. The growth of this shoot causes the banana plant to maintain its viability. Even though the mother banana tree has died, the growth of banana tree alternates naturally. This of course also occurs in other living things including animals and humans. Every living creature has been provided by God Almighty with the ability to sustain its life and protect its offspring, so that it remains sustainable. However, due to the greed of either living being and human ignorance of environmental sustainable, could ecosystem have been destroyed has become a natural law that every creature will be prey upon by stranger creature, or what known as the law of jungle. Every type of living thing can maintain its kind until now because it comes from previous living things of the same kind that can reproduce and adapt to the environment. If creatures that live in ancient time were not able to survive in their survival, then that type of living creature will become extinct like the dinosaur. The survival of organisms is influenced by the ability to adapt to the environment, natural selection, and reproduction. And then adaptation. Adaptation is the ability of living things to adjust to their environment. There are several ways of adjustment that can be done, namely by adjusting the shape of the organ, adjusting the work of the organ, and behavior in response to change in the environment. From this definition of adaptation, there are three kinds of forms of adaptation, namely 1. Physiological adaptation, 2. Behavioral adaptation, 3. Morphological adaptation. And next, 2. The second, natural selection. In everyday life, selection means selection, and nature means everything that is around live things. So, natural selection is the selection of life things that can live on a can live of that is carried out by the surrounding environment and occurs naturally. It can also be interpreted as the extinction of some living things by cause that cannot adapt. So, natural selection factor. Natural selection is determined by several factors. These factors are as follows: 1. Ambient temperature, 2. Food and sunlight. The next, extinction of living things. Based on the findings of fossils, it can be seen that many types of living things that lived in ancient time are no longer found today, but there are also those who are still alive today, namely dragonflies. Dragonflies are animals that lived in the Carbon era until now. Other animals that are almost similar to animals that have become extinct are lizards and dragons. There are three animals that are classified as living fossils. Final, 3. Breeding of living things. The reproduction of living things can be used to sustain life because without reproduction, live things will become extinct. For example, on a plantation, there is a locust population that is exposed to radiation, so that the male locust become infertile and can mate with female locust. The inability of the locust to reproduce will cause the locusts in the planets to become extinct. So these locusts can preserve their species because they are unable to reproduce. There are living things that have high and low reproductive power. Living things that have high reproductive capacity will easily maintain their survival. For example, rats, cats, wheat, and water hyacinth. Living things that have low reproductive capacity are very difficult to maintain the continuity and sustainability of their kind. For example, elephants only give birth once in 2 years, and each time they give birth to only one. Likewise, rhinoceros, dragons, moose deer, peacocks, giraffes, tiger, and blue whales, which only produce two babies in 10 years. Animals that have low reproductive capacity are animals whose sustainable is threatened. Apart from animals, plants are also protected by the state because of their scarcity and low breeding capacity. For example, plants protected by the state are caterpillars or Rafflesia arnoldii, ambulmum orchid, kemang, kepu, Kalimantan, ironwood, frankincense, and agarwood protected by the state. Okay, that's all my presentation, more or less. I'm sorry, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.